Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about annotations. Now with annotations, it's something that we are going to start doing when we are reading, and it is to help us better comprehend what we are reading. Annotations are there to help you write down things that are important or that you deem important or that you are interested in as you are reading, but then there are also things that you can reference back to because, let's be honest, after we've read something, a lot of times we forget what we read. So it's just kind of a reference guide as well. Now, there are a lot of different ways that we can annotate. I'm going to go through those different ways. Some are more important, some are more helpful than others, but you may use any of these when we are annotating. So our first one is a doodle. And so you jot images that pop into your head while you're reading. And so here is a reading passage. I'm going to use this reading passage for every single slide today. So real quickly, Lena stared at the old map in her hands, the edges frayed from years of use. The treasure she had dreamed about for so long was just a few miles away. Hidden deep in the forest, her heart raced as she thought about the dangers ahead. Dark shadows in the woods, strange noises, and the eerie feeling that someone might be watching. She took a deep breath and tucked the map into her bag. It was time to go. And so a doodle, of course, hopefully we're all picturing a treasure map, right? There you go. So you could draw something like that. Doodles are hard. If you're not a good drawer, don't do the doodles. Skip that one, okay? But if you are good, this is for you. If you're good at drawing, illustrate something out. Now, our second one here are questions. Questions are just any questions that pop into your head as you're reading. Any possible question, okay? I promise you, it will be useful as long as it's related to the story. So a simple question here is just, where did Lena find this map? I don't know why I have a what there. That's embarrassing. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Now, same passage, so where did Lena find this map? Third here is, for some reason my face went away. Third one here are hashtags. Now, everyone loves to do these hashtags. Now, the thing about hashtags is this. We will eventually get to a point where we do things called hashtag summaries, and those hashtags are a little bit longer than your typical hashtags. But if you're just annotating, if you're just writing what you saw in the thing, just jot down short and fun summaries and reactions about what you're reading. Hashtag, oh no, she didn't. Hashtag, bad idea, etc. Now, when you do hashtags, you need to do at least 3. So hashtag adventure, hashtag danger, hashtag worth the risk. Probably should have threw a question mark at the end of that, but doesn't really matter for the sake of this assignment. Okay, big idea. Not arguably, the most important of them. This is the big idea or the big things that are happening in the passage. So anything that is, like basically you're just telling me the most important thing or summarizing the entire passage. So we'll eventually get to hashtag summaries of big ideas, but for now we just kind of want like a big idea of the whole thing, or of a paragraph or of a whole passage. So for this, I did the whole passage. This passage is about a girl, it's just because it's one paragraph. Lena, who is about to go on a dangerous journey for a treasure she desires. That's your big idea of this whole paragraph. Next, reaction. Now, a reaction, how you are feeling about the events in the text and why. Now, if you're not feeling a certain way, if there's not something that's popping in your head, like you feel a certain way as you're reading it, then this one's not for you. But I was feeling anxious. I was feeling nervous as I read this. So I'm anxious that oh, Mr. Black and your typos. I'm anxious that Lena is going to get herself into trouble looking for this treasure. Okay, that's how I felt as I was reading it. I was very anxious that she was going to get herself into trouble. I mean, we would have to have more than this. We'd have to continue to go more. So, quote. I went too far. Goodness gracious me. Quote, jot down significant and meaningful quotes. Now, unless you're taking the quote, pulling it from the passage and putting it someplace else on a separate sheet of paper, when it comes to quotations, you are just highlight, underline, find an important, interesting quote that helps you better understand the text or that you think is important to understanding the text overall. This is extremely important in poetry because poetry is just specific words, phrases, things like that, and one word can be very important to understanding the entire text. So here I highlighted dark shadows in the woods, strange noises, and the eerie feeling that someone might be watching. This was important to me because I just felt like it added more to the conflict of the story as just, I'm going on a fun adventure to go find a treasure map and there's not going to be anything standing in my way. Well, we know that's not true if we continue this story. Moving on to motivation, jot down why a character or author is doing something. This is really important with characterization and things along that nature. So why is Lena doing what she is doing in this passage? I said Lena is risking her safety because she wants to find this treasure. I think most of us could probably agree that if we wanted to find treasure, we would probably risk our safety depending on how good the treasure is. Conflict. All right, we're good with conflict, but this is any problems that are happening in the story. And so the main problem is that conflict is leading us after a treasure, and there are obstacles standing in her way, right? Dark shadows in the woods, strange noises, eerie feeling that someone might be watching. That's why I highlighted that. Those are things that we know are going to become problems for her as she moves throughout the story. And then finally, cause and effect. So, I don't know. Oh my goodness gracious. How did that happen, y'all? So that's on me. So when it comes to cause and effect, this is up there as important with big ideas, but cause and effect, jot down what is happening and why you think that thing is happening. So Lena finds a treasure map, and the result of that is she's going to go on a journey to find the treasure. So that's just cause and effect. So those are your big ones. Those are the annotations. So now our assignment today, you will be handed two things. The first is an annotation reference sheet. This is for you. This is basically like the notes of everything I just went over, but without my examples. And you're going to use this sheet right here and go through a story we have already read, and it's very short. We've already read this, Fish Cheeks. Okay, and as we go through Fish Cheeks, your assignment is to do at least one of each of these as you go through, including the doodle, even if you're bad at doodling. All right, and of course, if you have any questions as you are going through, you will just not hesitate to ask me what we were doing. So using these annotations that you just learned about and going through a story we have already read that you are already familiar with, and just annotate as you go through. All right, everyone, thank you for watching.